Thanks, Gab,
Got,
for taking the time today and uh, you know, making time to come out to your car, eat your lunch, and tell us your story. I really appreciate it, and I think a lot of people will really get a lot out of that. So, first things first, tell me a little bit about your life before we started working together.
yeah, right. So I had just been training only at home. I think I had little maybe 4 kilo hand weights. Was doing a lot of jumping around my lounge room, not really sure what I was doing. But yeah, so that's what I was doing. And then I was running a lot. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I wanted to run a marathon, but I knew that I had no idea how to get through the full 42 Ks. I'd run a couple of halves, and I just didn't have the muscle mass that I wanted. So we started working together, doing like prehab, on building that muscle and that endurance. And yeah, I think I've hit you up a couple of times. So we worked together for a short period then, and then I was like, I want to do push-ups. We worked together then, and now you just can't get rid of me.
A good problem to have. So, you were running around and jumping around in your house with tiny weights. Tell us about the soup cans.
Yeah, yeah. So when I
Yeah.
first started, I was like maybe 50 kilos heavier. I had to Google what a squat was. I had no bloody idea. I'd never exercised a day in my life. And I downloaded like this workout app and it said to use hand weights. I didn't have hand weights. So it was diced tomato actually. And so instead of hand weights for a good 6 months, I used cans of diced tomato. And they were heavy. So that's how little muscle mass I had. These like little cans of diced tomato, I would feel the burn, I tell you what. Yeah, so I'd kill tomato in my lounge room. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I know, I think I know the diced tomatoes you're talking about. They are pretty hefty. Um, so you
Hmm.
were doing the work. You were working. You were doing what you could do with what you had and your time availability and everything like that. What were some of the
Hmm.
big challenges that you were dealing with that you were trying to overcome with your training and fitness?
Hmm. Well, zero idea of what I was doing, for one. I had no time. So I think my youngest, I've got 5 kids, and my youngest was a year old at that time. I was homeschooling, and that's just, I don't need any more than that. That's enough. That was a lot. Um, so I was doing that, and so no time, no money. It wasn't something that was something I was able to invest in. So I couldn't get equipment, and I also was very isolated in our location. So I was trying to do cardio. I ran a half marathon in my backyard because I had nowhere else to go.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
so it was a lot of just like, look, I don't know what the best thing to do is. I used to set a timer on my phone for 20 minutes and think, look, I don't know how to do cardio. I don't know how to do activity. I'm gonna just not sit down and I'm gonna clean my house aggressively for 20 minutes. So I had no clue. And I just tried to do as much as I could do. And if it was movement, I felt like it was better than nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, it is. It is better than nothing. That's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's a while ago. Uh, Tell
Uh-huh.
us all a little bit about how things are now and what's changed since having some structured, dedicated training.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, initially when I was on my own, it was just about changing my own mindset. That movement, had always been hard and had always been something I shied away from. To movement was my friend and it was something I sought out. And then, like, I lost a lot of weight on my own. I did. And I did change my entire lifestyle. But I got to the point where movement was my friend, but I wanted it also to be smarter, and I wanted it to have direction and purpose, instead of just wearing me out. So I think the biggest change now is that I feel capable in all aspects of my life. So not just like having more energy or easier to fit into clothes and all those things which come from smaller sizes. Training with intent and deliberate movement builds the body that is capable, for all activities that I need and want to do. So I don't look at anything anymore and think I'm not capable of that. I might be uncoordinated and I might fail, but I'm capable physically of having a crack, which is, 5 years ago I couldn't walk up my front stairs. So it's definitely life changing. Yeah.
And really in not a very long period of time, like to go from where you were to where you are now in
Yeah.
5 and less years is just fantastic.
So when I Googled what a squat was, I was like, man, I can't do that. And I couldn't. So I got a chair and I thought I'll just get up off the chair. And I couldn't get up off the chair. And so then I got one of my kids' skipping ropes and I got a skipping rope and I hung it over a door. And instead of squats, I pulled myself out of a chair 10 times and then I needed a rest and I was done. So
That's
that's how
amazing.
awesome I was
That's
5 years
very
ago.
ingenious. Like that's good problem solving right there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's been a bit of a process. So why don't you tell me what your favorite part of the process has been?
I like I think it's just the part where you walk away and you think that was hard and I did that. Like I just love that feeling when you're like, I've forced myself to do something hard. Man, if I can squat my body weight, what else can I do? Like that feeling of walking away from, that movement or that set, that's my favorite part. Like whether it's deadlifts or whether it's squats or whether it's carrying stupid things that you make me carry and try and walk in a straight line, no matter what it is, if I walk away, I'm like, that was stupid hard and I had a crack. I love that feeling. Yeah. So I'll take that to the bank every day.
That's awesome. That's very much in line with what I keep saying that, confidence comes with competence. You teach yourself, you show to yourself, you prove to yourself that you can do something, and it gives you confidence to do other things and sort of
Yeah.
bleeds out into the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly. Everywhere. So it's like, man, I did that this morning in a physical way. Like, I can make this phone call that, I've been putting off. Like, you're just constantly showing up for yourself and proving that you can do the things that are hard to do or maybe outside of your comfort zone. And you realize that you're more capable of what you realize you are. So you just keep having a crack.
That's
Mm-hmm.
it. That's all you can do. You got to keep having a crack. So,
Yeah.
what would you say to someone maybe in a similar situation who might need a bit of support as well, but doesn't really know where to look or who to trust because there's so much information out there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There is a lot of information out there and a lot of it is stupid information, that's for sure. uh, um well, I think to someone who is in similar situation to me, I number one, I always say you have to believe that you're the one the good things can happen to. Like you have to believe that, the before and afters you see, or the fit people your age that you see, or the people getting up and doing things, you have to believe that that can be you. Like if you're going into it and you're like, man, this isn't going to work out, this is another time I'm going to stop, blah blah blah, then you're already setting yourself up for failure. I went into, I'm like, what if I'm the person that follows through on this, and what if it works out? Like let's just go into it believing I'm not going to quit. And then I didn't quit, so that worked out well. um where to find good information? I think the coaches that you look for, or the people, the advice givers you want to look for, are the ones who their audience or their clientele um, are not just getting results, but I'm going to say quality, like quality clientele, quality audience as well. Um, because there's a lot of fad stuff out there. There's a lot of stuff that's interesting, but especially with coaches and with advice givers, if the people that are receiving that information aren't taking it and going somewhere better, then there's lots of cheap information. It's kind of like sugary foods or whatever. It's all right in the moment, but it's not nutritious. It's not lasting. So if you've got recommendations from friends, then that's 10 out of 10 times better. If you respect the journey that someone's been on, listen to who they're listening to. Ask them, where do they get their information? Who do they go to for advice? Because if they're implementing good stuff, then they're going to realize, you can't feel fed and you can't do well on shitty advice, bad advice. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Cool.
There's a lot of shit out there.
There is. All right. I'm not going to take up too much more of your lunch break, but do you have any parting words of wisdom for anybody?
Eat broccoli and schnitzel in your car if you need to. I don't have any wisdom. God, you're setting me up for failure. Um, I don't know. Something is better than nothing. Hey, I like the whole time, all I've ever done is just something. Like if I need a half ass in a workout because all I have is half of an ass that day, that's then that's all I have to give, and I'm gonna give it. Like consistency, just keep showing up. You can't fuck it up really if we can't stuff it up. uh, if you keep showing up, like you're gonna get good results, even if they're mental ones that week or whatever. If you consistently show up for yourself, good things happen.
Love it. That's a good spot to finish up this. So
So wise, so
it's
wise.
good. The wisest. I really appreciate it, Gab. Thanks for taking time out of your lunch break and telling your story. And I look forward to seeing you tick off your workouts this week.
Or mate, already halfway there. So yeah.
Excellent. All right. Enjoy.
All right.